This is the plaintiff, Michael Shortino. He says he rented an apartment to the defendant, and after living there for only one day, the defendant told him he was too young to live on his own and abruptly moved out. What a lame excuse. He took the apartment off the market. The guy moved in, and if you ask him, he's owed rent for 1 month in the amount of $1,570, so he's suing. This is the defendant, Christopher Ludwig. He says he moved out because he thinks the apartment is illegal. That's right. The stove was sitting on wooden pallets, and the gas hookup looked Mickey Mouse. He wasn't about to jeopardize his and his fiance's safety, so they moved out after 1 day. End of story. He's accused of a hasty vacate.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff rented an apartment to the defendant and said a day after moving in, the guy said he was too young and canceled the deal. But the defendant says he moved out because the apartment was wonky and illegal. It's the case of your unit sucks.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Michael Shortino, you are suing Christopher Ludwig for $1,570, $1,500 for rent because he canceled the check and bailed on renting, and $70 for your bounced check fees as a result of him canceling the check. Tell me what happened.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you, first of all, for hearing our case. I own a house on Long Island, a legal two-family house. October 10th, the defendant and his girlfriend, his fiancée, went to go see the apartment. They liked it. They decided to take it. The real estate took the application. Everything seemed okay with that. I met them personally for the first time around the 20th of October. Met with them at the real estate's office. Had a very nice conversation with them, very nice, couple. And during that conversation, they asked me that they were going to be going on a cruise, and that whether it would be okay for us to settle up the first month's the rent and the security upon their return. I said that would be fine, not a problem.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you know what it was? The real estate knew them. They were familiar with them. And there was some connection there. And I trusted the realtor. I've used her in the past, so I had no reason to believe.
So when did you get a check?
Well, here's what happened when the whole situation went bad. When they moved in for 1 day.
Well, let's talk about that. So what happens? They come back and then they move in what day?
They moved in on the 5th of November.
And they were there 1 day?
1 day.
And then said
He
what?
sent me a text on November 5th because I was away visiting my son at college. Mm-hmm. So what happened was he sent me a text and saying, I'm in the apartment. Not a problem. Then on the following day, the Sunday, on November 6th, he sends me another text. I said, I need to speak to you. And he said to me at that time, he goes, Mike, I don't know how to tell you this, but we're not going to take the apartment. We really can't afford it. So I said, well, why did you agree to take
Okay, but hold on. When he moved in, had he paid you any money? Or you
No, I was out of town. I
know you're out of town, but then, you've got a realtor. I mean, you
Right.
could collect, somebody else can get the money. But so you gave them the key and the place without
Right.
getting penny one?
That's
not
true.
Naive, as you called it in your complaint. That is downright nuts.
Yeah. Well, what happened was the realtor, they had asked if I would be able to get the security deposit and the first rent when I returned on that Monday. And I said it was fine. I was out of town anyway.
Why would it be fine? You're giving him the key.
Yeah, no, it was obviously
You shouldn't even take it off the market until they paid you the money.
Yeah,
but to let them in, here, move in. So now I have to evict you if you don't pay me.
Yeah, well, it was a mistake.
I'll say. How long have you been renting?
A long time. I've had my house for quite a few years.
I guess you've had just really good renters.
I've been blessed with very good renters. That's exactly right.
Well, that stops now.
Yeah, that stops now.
All right,
exactly.
what happened?
Everything he said is very true. Michael's a very nice man. I tried to be nice to him. The biggest thing that happened is, I'm not going to get into all of it, but I made a big mistake trying to move out of my house and get into an apartment. It was probably not the right thing to do at that time.
What house, when you say move out of my house?
I'm sorry, my parents' house.
Oh, okay. How old are you?
I'm 21 right now.
Oh, you're
and
young.
I went into the apartment when I was 20.
When you were 20?
Yes.
And so you were going to move in with who? Your girlfriend?
Yes.
Is she still your girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay. And how long had you been dating her?
3 years now.
And so you felt like maybe this was a mistake?
Financially.
Oh,
and
okay.
As well as when we
Oh,
went
it's a good thing you clarified that, because that's not where I was going.
No.
All right, so you felt
Well-
like financially it might have been foolish.
Yes,
And
not in the
so
initial.
what? So tell me though, Christopher, why is it you get to make a verbal agreement for something and then you don't have to abide by it when someone relies on it, but the rest of us, you know, because you're over 18, so
Right.
you can contract. Even if that contract is verbal, you can contract. So if you tell the man you're going to take, he takes it off the market, he doesn't have the rent, you realize that you're depriving him of that month's rent.
Right, I did understand that.
So then you wrote a check.
I did write a check.
And then what happened? When did you write that check?
I don't have a date as of right now.
When did he
but
write that check?
He wrote that check on November 8th.
Okay, and that was in
compensation.
response to
Yes.
saying, well, you
Yeah.
can't, I got a mortgage to pay.
The real estate contacted him. They worked out an agreement where, just give me the 1 month
Yeah.
that you're out. I'm not going to make him take the place if he doesn't want it.
No, well, you can't because
Yeah.
it's a month to month. You didn't have a lease.
It was a month to
so
month.
all you are entitled to would be the month, although I guess you could argue that you didn't get 30 days notice and you could get 2 months. But
Correct, but to make it
all
go
you
away,
wanted was the month. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
he writes you the check,
He
and then
wrote
what?
me a check. The check is, and I believe you have a copy of it, Your Honor, and the check is dated 11/8.
Okay.
And then that check bounced.
What happened?
So would you rent an apartment to a 21-year-old?
No, I have a 21-year-old. That's all I'm going to say.
Would you?
Sure, why not? I mean, I was only 21 like 3 years ago, so.
Right. Okay, I believe it. Okay. Would you rent an apartment to Justin Bieber?
Yeah, absolutely. He'd be first in line. You know he's going to pay the bill.
Fair? Solid point. Going inside the courtroom.
What happened?
they were canceled.
Why
Because-
did you care? What happened?
Because I had fears that the apartment was illegal because there was
You had fears?
Yes, because there was a
What, did it come to you in a dream?
No, it didn't.
Okay, well, what did you do about what do you mean you had fears the apartment was, you had
Because-
already decided that you wanted to live at home and that this was not
No.
financially feasible. So you mean it occurred to you to argue that it might be illegal. So did you bother to go to the town to find out if it was illegal?
No, because they wanted $25 for the CO for the apartment.
Oh,
which they didn't
okay.
spend. But
So let me see. No, wait,
right.
Mr. Ludwig, I want to understand. So in your world, you cancel after the month has begun. You don't pay $25. By the way, how much did you have to pay to file your case against him?
$20.
$20. Let him spend the $20. File the case again. Let the judge who has real cases waste time with you and make him come to court to chase you for something that clearly you owe because you didn't want to find out if your fear was valid. It's not. I looked it up. It's a two-family legal house. What are you doing?
well, I would like to explain myself.
Yeah, I'd like you to explain yourself.
Okay, whenever you would ready, Your Honor, I would. We had been introduced to a third person that lived in the house. That, we met him in front of the building, nice guy, but as far as I knew, it was a two-family house, and the only other place that were left would either be a basement or, maybe an apartment that was someone underground. And from my knowledge, that wasn't legal. I could
Is
have been.
that the one you're renting?
No, it's not the one I'm renting, but I don't want to
Okay.
be part of a building that was like that. I could have been wrong, but that was my
How
whole.
do you know that's
fear.
not his brother?
I don't know.
That's right. You don't know if he's collecting rent for downstairs. You don't know what's happening downstairs. But you don't get to have that argument when it's a two-family duplex and you're renting half the duplex, right? Yeah. Not here. Not today. Verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,570.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, no question about it, the plaintiff prevails for the rent of $1,570. Mr. Ludwig, I can't help but wonder, was there some other reason that didn't come out in the trial or why you didn't feel you owed him the rent?
Well, to tell you the truth, it was very hard to get some words out in there. I had very little time to explain myself, as all of you saw.
What didn't you say?
The biggest mistake I made was trying to move out of my house very quickly for the wrong reasons, and I jumped into something that I shouldn't have.
So it was a mistake on your part from the very beginning.
And then, things that I've been taught, I had some fears. Obviously, that was,
Well,
made
I
fun
just
of,
wondered
but it's
if-
okay.
Didn't you realize you owed him the money?
I had realized I owed him money. That's why I called him. I tried to, be man to man about it. A gentleman talked to him over the phone about it. He says that I moved in. All I had was the keys. I never moved into the place.
Well, look, the judge thinks it was a foolish mistake. You owe him the money,
Yeah.
and he's going to get it now.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry, I
you.
hope you've learned a lesson here.
Big one.
Yeah, big one is right. Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Shortino, if you'll step out here. I mean, There's no, he owed you the money. Just
Yeah, he owed
flat
me the
out.
money.
Yeah.
And, you know, the shame of it is that he's a very nice kid. And his girlfriend they're sweet people.
Yeah.
You know, it was a little out of character when I met them, but, you know, he's a good kid. He really is. I think he made a mistake, and
Well,
he got in over his head, and he
The judge
realized...
thinks you also made a mistake. What you
I
did
did.
was nuts. She said, "You're nuts."
It was, but, you know, that's me. I do everything on a handshake. Call me old-fashioned, but,
All right.
you
Well,
know.
hope you learned something too.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Take
Okay.
care.
Harvey?
Doug, by the way, Bieber's turned over a new leaf. I'd rent to him.